So today I'm going to be doing a video discussing the top 10 strongest magic in fairy tale. Now, this was a very hard video to compose of because there's a lot of different magics in fairy tale. I mean, and narrowing down all the way down to one to pick as the strongest was really hard because think about it. Out of the four categories of magic, caster and all the other things, it was just hard picking this list together. So there's going to be some things up here that some people might not agree with, and there's also going to be some things that some people might be like, why don't you have this in here, why don't you have that in here? But keep in mind that everybody's list isn't going to be the same. Let's be honest here, we're all going to have different opinions. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this list for the top 10 strongest magic. If you guys disagree with anything, make sure you just put it in the comment section down below. I'm going to be looking in the comment section because this is going to be a pretty interesting and controversial video. But coming in at number 10 is takeover magic. Now, we know that takeover magic, it allows you to basically take over, basically transform. That's what it is. And the main people who use it are Elfman, Lisana, and Mira Jane. And they're basically the people who coined it, the people who we basically know as the users of it. And we see what it could do for them. For example, even somebody like Lisana, who's not as strong as the other two, she's actually able to put in work. And then we see the people like Elfman, whereas when they get angry, like they can turn into some spooky things. Like Elfman, when he's angry, he uses takeover magic, he becomes a monster. No pun intended. But then the best one at using it, Mira Jane, she was able to do so much. The fact that she was able to stand up against people like Kyoka and Sayla and all these other people with her takeover magic, she's had some pretty dope moments with her magic. So that's why I gotta have takeover in here. It can't be slept on just because it might not be as flashy as the other things, or it might not be as remembered as some people, but it's still not something to just look over. Coming in at number 9 is re-equip magic. Now, re-equip magic, some people might be like, whoa, this is a little bit too high, but trust me, I'm pretty sure I might be able to change you guys' mind. But no, nonetheless, re-equip magic, basically I should just call it Urza magic because she's the only person who really uses it. And the reason why I have it up here is because there's just so much different variety that she could do. She's claimed to have 1,000 armors, and we haven't even seen all 1,000. And not to mention, she has some pretty OP things within those armors, like for example, the Nakagami Starlight. Listen, I know some people, they might be like, that armor is so BS, but nonetheless, it's still an armor. It's still very OP, and it basically bends and breaks the laws of magic. Like that's on some nut shit. Like it's way too far. So yeah, re-equip magic. Urza, she's definitely mastered it, and she actually knows what she's doing with it, and that's why I gotta have it at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Celestial Spirit Magic. Now I know people are ready to chop my head off. They'll be like, Lucy over Urza? Because that's what they're going to see it as. They're going to see it as Lucy over Urza. No, I'm not talking about Lucy over Urza. I'm talking about the magic, the Celestial Spirit Magic over the re-equip magic. I'm not saying Lucy stronger than Urza. Relax, calm down, take the dislike off and like the video. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, Celestial Spirit Magic is definitely nothing to play with because think about it like this. We have so many celestial spirit mages in the series, like for example Lucy, Angel, Yukina, and they've all put in work. But the main thing I want to talk about, which is why I have this up here, is because we know with this you can summon the Celestial Spirit King. And the Celestial Spirit King is super OP. Let's be honest here. He was basically able to come in here. Me personally, I think he was stronger than Margear back when they fought, but due to plot, obviously he wouldn't be able to like fight him and actually take him out. But we do know that he did destroy the base of Taros like it was nothing, and he would have. I think that he could have beaten Margear. That's just me. Listen, that's just me. But no, in all seriousness, we also know that you're able to do things like Star Dress, which actually is able to let you take the form of the certain celestial spirit, and you're actually able to use the power on its own. So that's also another thing. But last but not least, this might just be because it was Anna, but Anna, she's basically a very strong celestial spirit mage. She was able to do so many incredible things, but if you think about it like this, she was able to do stuff like travel time. Now, obviously, she didn't do that with just her magic, but because I don't know if it, like I said, I don't know if this was just because it was her, but she was also able to do a whole bunch of things concerning time travel and a whole bunch of other spooky things. So, celestial spirit magic, I got that at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is Make Magic. Now, this one's basically Gray. Now, I know some people, again, they see this as just Gray being strong in this or blah, blah, blah. But no, this combined with, and this is a little bit me, we gotta cheat a little bit. I want to be underrated majors if we didn't cheat, but no, I'm combining this with kind of like Devil Slayer simply because these two are both like they're both only for gray and silver, and we've seen these magic used together. So when these two are combined, they're basically listen. We saw what Silver could do to Natsu when he had Ice Make Magic. He was able to freeze him on the spot. And just think about that. If Gray, like, let's take plot and everything aside, he'd just be going around just freezing people left and right. Now, obviously, I don't think it'll work on everyone, but we also do know that Ice Age magic, it basically allows you to have a limitless amount of weapons. I mean, we've seen him use stuff like cannons, like swords, like everything, bow and arrows. Like he's able to craft basically any weapon, cover it with ice, cover it with his magic. He's just able to fling it at people. So yeah, Ice Make Magic or Make Magic, whatever you want to call it, it's definitely something not to be messed with. Coming in at number 6 is Slaying Magic. Now, Slaying Magic, this is a combination of Dragon Slaying Magic, God Slaying Magic, Devil Slaying Magic, all that just combined because all of that, I can't really separate that because they're basically, if you think about it, they're all the same, but they just slay different things. But we saw what you're able to do with Dragon Slaying Magic. I mean, obviously, you get Dragon Force, all the other stuff. You're OP, okay? You're OP with Dragon Slaying Magic. God Slaying Magic, we saw that you're able to basically kill gods. I mean, that's on some next level stuff because a god, like slaying a god is crazy. And then with Devil Slaying Magic, like I said earlier with Gray before, we saw what him and Silver were both able to do. So all of these type of magic, Slayer magics, they're all very strong and they all play a huge role in the story. But yeah, the reason why I have it up here is just because the variety of things that allows you to do, and it also makes you immune to a certain type of magic. So yeah, that's why I got Slayer magic at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Dragon Supremacy Magic. Now, this one is a little bit, some people might not even know what this is, but being able to control dragons is just OP in itself because we saw that when Future Rogue or Future Sting, whatever you want to call him, when he came back and he was able to control dragons, he could have beaten everybody there. Let's be honest, he was unstoppable because, A, even though there were Dragon Slayers there, they still weren't strong enough to take out dragons. So just imagine if you go there when they, well, just imagine if you control like 100 dragons with Dragon Supremacy Magic, you will be OP, you will be unstoppable. And I think that if somebody like that was to come into Fairy Tail with the army of dragons, that you would be insanely strong. So Dragon Supremacy Magic, that's why I got that up there. Coming in at number 4 is God Soul Magic. Now, this might be a little bit of a spoiler for anime onlys, but basically we've seen a character, Demaria, and she basically used God Soul, and that's basically like takeover magic, but instead you're using a god transformation, if you know what I'm saying. So basically, instead of turning into an animal, you turn into a god, and she turned into a god. She basically turned into the god of time. I can't remember his name at the moment, but yeah, I can't remember the Greek name for the, that's not the point. But the point is that you basically be able to control whatever, you're basically a god at that point. So that, yeah, that's why I have it at number 4. But I know some people might be thinking, okay, why isn't that at number 1 or anything? Well, it's because Dragon Slayer magics, Dragon Slayers, they are a good counterpart for that type of stuff. But yeah, nonetheless, God Soul Magic number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Guild Magic. Now, this is basically stuff like Fairy Heart, Fairy Law, Fairy Glitter, all that other stuff, because we saw what stuff like Fairy Law can do. Basically, if you're an enemy of Fairy Tail, you're getting smoked. We saw stuff like Grimoire Law, Grimoire Heart. Like, we've seen all the stuff. Fairy Heart, we know that Fairy Heart can give you infinite amount of magic. So the stuff that revolves around like guilds, like just special guild magic, those stuff are way OP. So that's why I have them in here, simply because they're just OP. Coming in at number 2 is Universe 1 Magic. Now, this one is also another manga only magic that's been used, but listen, I don't want to go too deep into spoilers, but yeah, we saw what somebody was able to do with it. Irene, she basically was able to rewrite the whole universe like it was nothing. I mean, she simply just changed the landscapes. People got teleported everywhere, and yeah, she was. Listen, this might sound like I don't want to say that she defeated Acting Logia, but she was able to distance Acting Logia. That's more of a perfect thing, distance, because she didn't really beat him. All she did was just take him away. Like, she just removed him from battle. So knowing that she just distanced him away, just seeing that she's able to control everybody and move everybody basically like their chess pieces, that was pretty OP. And last but not least, I got Ankh Black Magic. Now, I know some people, this isn't really in manga only, but some people might not know what it is. But Ankh Black Magic is basically Xerus magic. Basically, the cursed people, when they get cursed by Ankh, whereas if you go near them, you could die, which is just listen to that. If you go near them, you could die. And not to mention the fact that the little black balls that Zerafie would be using, if they touch you, you also die too. So Ankh Black Magic, you literally become just like a walking killing machine. So overall, that's basically it for my top 10 strongest magics. If you guys agree, let me know in the comment section. If you guys disagree, tell me that too. Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.